So I have a random question. What if in 12 weeks you can lose fat, get stronger, and actually not giving up your favorite foods or endless hours at the gym? The 90-day transformation program that I offer, it has three phases. A reverse diet, which is essentially we're meeting you where you are and trying to increase those calories in a way that we're increasing them with minimal fat gain. The second phase consists of mini cut, mini bulk. That's when we start doing a minor cut with a minor bulk. Actually, the last phase is a kind of a harsh deficit. When you think about it, you're only doing a deficit for 6 weeks out of the 12 week. And that drives the point that transformation doesn't have to be super intense or unrealistic for sustainability. This is just the stepping stone to get you going, building those habits that will carry on until your old age. The scale is not your only metric. There's a lot of other things that a lot of coaches out there do neglect. Yes, the scale is a good indicator where you are, where you want to be, but the other things too that matter a lot are your energy throughout the day. How's your sleep? How's your mood throughout the day? How's your digestion throughout the day? Those are things that are important as well, because if your recovery, your digestion, or your mood is crap, guess what? That diet, that program is probably not right for you. Regardless if you're losing weight, you can lose weight and actually get fatter. What I mean by that is that percent body fat is a percentage of your body weight. But if you're in your deficit, if you lose fat and muscle at a similar rate, at the end of the program, you're going to end up with a higher percent body fat, but you're going to look smaller. But that's where the skinny fat kind of term comes along. And unfortunately, a lot of those programs, what happens is that you lose a lot right away, that once you fall off or go back to your old habits, you actually gain the weight with interest. Meaning that you actually gain the weight, and now your new base, your new norm is actually going to be a heavier weight than when you started. And let me just cover a couple of my metrics while going through the 90-day program. I started at 196 pounds. I went down to 192. My waist, I did drop about 1.5 inches or so on my waist. My mood was better. My mental focus was better. My recovery was on point. And all in all, it's just better because I didn't have to kill myself just eating rice and broccoli day in and day out. I didn't spend endless hours at the gym. At the most I was doing was 3 hours a week. That's not a lot when you think about it. When you think about that investment of exercise, 3 hours a week is really nothing. What really moves this program along are a couple of things. Nutrition is probably the biggest thing. It's driven primarily by meal prepping. If you're just guessing your next meal, guess what? It's probably going to be harder to hit those targets. If you're not pre-planning hitting your protein, because protein is probably the most crucial thing that you have to hit, especially when in a deficit, because as I mentioned before, you don't want to lose fat and muscle, and protein helps you preserve that muscle and burn that fat. Next, we go to the gym. The most important lifts that you have to be focusing on are compound lifts: deadlift, squat, bench press, and military press, or shoulder press as some people call it. Those are the big needle movers in gaining strength. The benefits of gaining strength are actually kind of amazing. It's investing in your fat loss. Yes, you might not see it in a day, in a week, but after a while you start seeing changes. The more muscle you build, the easier it is to burn calories doing nothing. Really, those 3 hours extend throughout the week, and now your base metabolic rate, or how many calories you burn a day by doing nothing, actually increase because your body is maintaining muscle, and the maintenance of muscle is calorie expensive. And that's what you want. You want to burn more calories at rest. And by getting strong, it'll give you that tool that you can actually eat more and lose weight regardless of where you are. The other thing too is having realistic goals. Yes,
Let me just
you,
cover a couple
for
of
myself,
my
I won't
metrics
start at
while going
196
through
and
the 90
hoping to get to
program.
170.
I started at
That is the
196
ultimate goal,
pounds.
right?
I went down to
I am really in no
192.
rush. I'm
My
happy at
waist, I
190.
did drop
If I get
about
leaner,
an
that's
inch and
a giant win.
half or so.
But when you
on my
think
waist.
about it, it's
My
like
mood
what
was
is the
better,
time frame
my
that you're looking
mental
for?
focus was
And
better,
losing
my
about a
recovery was
pound
on
a
point.
week is the most realistic, sustainable way you can approach a diet, a deficit. Once you start pushing the needle farther than that, it is harder for the body to kind of maintain it. And that's when you get rebounds and you start gaining weight again, especially if your habits are not on point that actually sustain that weight loss. So who is this program for? And honestly, it'll be anyone from any ages. Parents looking to lose 10, 20 pounds, whatnot. This program is for you. It's low impact on the body, 3 hours a week max for 90 days. It drives a lot of the meal prepping, hitting that protein, and actually seeing sustainable results. If this is you, if you know of anybody that can benefit, share it, like it, subscribe, whatnot. Health is the best investment you can do for yourself and your family.